was really good, and it touched on preparation and starting now and things of that nature. And I think that it was important for me to talk about that again today, because I don't think a lot of us now, just we all think about now for the most part, and we don't think about later. So just putting that small amount of money to the side, in an account and investments, and things of that nature, and then seeing that account grow, seeing those investments grow, then that would encourage you uh, to invest more. But you can't get that encouragement if you never start. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, we're moving out here, man. Say it every week. We're being better. We're being consistent, putting out good information. If you are new to Wealth is a Journey podcast, on this podcast, on this platform, we talk about wealth building. We talk about budgeting. We talk about marriage. We talk about health. Um, and we talk about all things that's going to help you be the best person you can be on your way to the M's. So just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in today. Last week, we had a very, very good episode. And we talked about wealth building and just taking small steps to your wealth building and starting to wealth build. Because again, I talk to a lot of different people week in, week out basis about budgeting. And to me, that is going to be the foundation of your wealth building journey. If you tell your money where to go, then you will have a better chance than not having a detailed plan of where your money is going, which is going to be your budget. I do want to give you guys an update on the last episode. My last episode was with Kevin Washington, my frat brother, Cap Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. He is a financial advisor, and we talked about a lot of different things. But one question that I don't know if he answered, I did end up speaking to my financial advisor, and she did confirm about the 529 plan. So in the last episode, I asked Kevin a question about if you don't use your 529 for your son, which is a education savings fund for your child. If you don't use the money, then what happens? What she told me is that you can end up putting it in an IRA. Now, I think he answered it, but I don't know if he answered it where it was clear. So you can put in, from what she told me, and please make sure that you do your own research and ask your financial advisor if you have one, just to confirm what I'm saying. But she did tell me that you can put $25,000 away in an IRA for your child if they don't use all the money. So let's just say you have $125,000 put away for your kid. They only end up using $100,000 towards school. They don't go to grad school, anything like that. From what she told me, you can put $25,000 of that money into an IRA for your kid. Now, what I want you to do is think about your kid's 18 years old. And then you put that money away until, I don't know the specific age. I think it's either 59 or 62 when they can actually pull from that money. Think about how much money your child will have and how well off they're going to be just from that $25,000 investment alone. And we talk about generational wealth, but this is not what the episode's about. But I just wanted to just drop that on you because that was huge for me. And again, with this podcast, we're always trying to give good information that's going to help you on your wealth building journey. So today's episode is more so about preparation. You hear people talk about Hey, life is Lifin and things of that nature. And to me, I understand that things are going to come up in life. I get that. Things come up with me and my family in life and tries to knock you off course and things of that nature. But if you prepare financially for those times that lifes, then it's not going to be as difficult to go through that that difficult time. So one of the key pieces that we talked about on the last episode, which kind of ties into what I'm talking about now, is starting early. You want to start early in your journey of building your finances up. Now, if you're not good with finances, then you have many different resources. If you're watching or listening to this podcast, I'm one of them. However, if you're not comfortable with divulging your information, your financial information to a total stranger, completely understand. Uh, but as far as your finances go, it's going to be very, very important for you to start now. It's 2024, new year, new you, all the new sayings. If one of your goals is to get financially sound or fiscally responsible, as I like to say, if that was one of your goals, where are you now? So we're about a month into 2024. Have you done anything towards your financial goals? And if the answer is no, then I would encourage you to start now, because I talked about it again in the last episode. I put in, uh, and this might not be your situation. I get that, but I put in $5,000 into an IRA. We started early, saving for my son for his college. But the thing is, if I had never started and put that money away, then it would have never doubled. I'm talking about for the IRA that I talked about in the last episode. So there are benefits of starting early. Think about somebody who did something that you wanted to do, but they started a few years ago, but you had the idea, but because they started, they're on their journey a lot faster than you. Think about an idea that somebody you saw on social media did, that because you never started, they're way further ahead than you are financially as well. The faster and the earlier you start getting your finances together, starting to budget, starting to put money where it needs to go, saving for long term, the better you're off, the better off you are going to be in the future. Again, we're talking about preparation. Many people may think that it's too late for me. I'm in my late 40s. I'm in my early 50s. It's not too late. It's never too late. Because if your spending right now is out of control, or uh, it can be better, then start now. Because one other thing that we talk about often is uh, other people are watching you. So if you have a child, if you have a niece, you have a nephew, you have another family member who is who admires you, looks up to you, or watching you from afar and you don't know that people are watching you. So if you are out of control or your spending habits are could be better, then know that people are watching you. So start now. It's okay to start now. It's never too late. Um, because then if once you get good at something, whether you're later in life or earlier in life, you can then pass that information down to somebody else as well. So again, it's not always about you, it's about who you can help, right? One thing I really want to drive home is that when we talk about life and um, life will always dictate what happens to you if you're not prepared. I want to say that again. Life will always dictate to you what happens if you're not prepared. What I mean by that is if you don't save money or if you don't save up for the future and something happens to you, then uh, you'll end up in a worse situation than you are now because you didn't prepare. So just think about a situation where you have a family member or a friend or just, somebody that you know who's always in need. They're always in lack. Think about not that they're in lack, but think about why they're in lack, why they don't have. 9 times out of 10, they don't have is because they didn't prepare for lifing, right? So, uh, and then also on the flip side of that, think about like I talked about before about one time where our heating system last year went out, and because we had an emergency fund put off to the side because we set up a budget, we were able to put money away because we were telling our money where to go, and because we had our heating system, we had money set aside for that thing. If something happened, it was an emergency fund that was specifically an emergency. We were able to take care of it. So it was a minor inconvenience instead of a catastrophe. Now, on the flip side of that, if we never put money away, we never had a savings or anything of that nature, just think about what would have happened. We would have had to maybe go to somebody or a payday lender or get a loan or get a loan from a family member or a friend or something like that because we did not prepare. And I'm not saying that, you know, you're a bad person if I'm talking to you, but if you desire to have more, you have to start now. If you desire to have an emergency fund at the very least, for those things that come up, for those things that happen to you, then you got to start now, because you don't want to be that person that when people see you coming, pause, then they want to turn the other way because they know that you're going to be asking for something because you're the person who's always in lack. Um, when I say that life is going to dictate to those who are not prepared, that happened to me before. I long time ago, many, many years ago, somebody gave me something, right? And they ended up, I was using the thing, constantly using the thing, and then we had a falling out, and then they ended up wanting the thing back. Now, I could have said, no, it's now in my house. You can't have it. But me being a person of integrity, I'm like, hey, listen, you know what? I don't want to go back and forth with you. You take it. Now, I did not have an emergency fund at the time. I might have had $100 in my account. I was in bad shape financially. But what happened is my mom had to come and bail me out of the situation. And that is something that sits with me even to this day. I'm a grown man. I have a house and I gotta have my mom bail me out of something. Now, I appreciate that she did that, but that always stuck with me to say, hey, Che, listen, if that happens again and you are not prepared for this situation that happened, then that's on you because you never learned your lesson from what you did or what happened just a little bit ago. Um, so if you have those types of situations, if you are in a situation, if you look in your account now and you know that you don't have enough, if say your car breaks down, or if something happens where you need a few $100s or even a few $1,000s to take care of the thing that you need to take care of, then it's time to start now with your budget. Again, we're on this podcast, on this platform, we're trying to take the fear out of doing things that you need to do that's going to help you later on down the line, right? Um, Preparation is huge. And especially if you're an adult, you need to prepare early and often because things come up all the time. But those who are prepared for those things that come up are going to be the most successful, I'll say. And if you're in a situation that maybe after you do your budget and you feel like you need to make more money after you do your budget, then think about uh, a few different things. Think about your current place of employment. How are you as an employee? If you're an entrepreneur, think about how you treat your customers. Uh, because if you are the person who goes above and beyond for your customers, if you're an entrepreneur and you provide value, you're always going to be in demand. If you are providing value on your job, you're a good employee. Most of the time, or most likely, you will get promoted, and especially if you know what you're doing. But if you are the person who is, kind of living paycheck to paycheck, another thing that the lack of preparation will do is it will, trying to find out how to articulate this, is it's you will always be either your customers or your employer, if you're an employee and you I'm trying to think, how do I say this? If you're not prepared and you're an employee, you will always be needy. Think about when you're on that job and say your boss is not the most pleasant person. Um, and they know about your financial situation. They can treat you any way they want. Now, on the flip side, if you saved up an emergency fund, if you have additional monies put away, if you're spending less than you make, you're living below your means, you're doing all the things, then if your manager is not treating you right, then you can leave. What's going on, family? This is Che Willis from Wealth as a Journey podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but I help families who are living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. If this is you or you know somebody, go to wealthisajourney.com to book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other for either budgeting, or if you're a beginner investor, again, you can book a free discovery call to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. Again, wealthisajourney.com, wealthisajourney.com. Let's get back to the episode. On the flip side of that, if you need the job and then your boss is an a-hole and you need the money, they can treat you any way that they want. And they know that you have to stay there because they know that you need the money. So there's a lot of different benefits if you really look at the benefits of preparing now and getting your finances in order, because people can't treat you any way that they want. Think about if you're depending on somebody for your living situation and then they end up having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month and you're living with them. You have to take whatever they give you because you live with them. Now, if you had your own stuff because you prepared earlier, then you'll be in a better situation to say, hey, I don't have to take this. I'm going to my house. Or if you know your boyfriend, girlfriend situation, or parent, son, parent, daughter, parent, any family member situation, you don't have to take anything that anybody gives you because you set yourself up to be okay on your own. So people who depend on other people for their living situation or for finances and things of that nature, a lot of times get treated any way that the person who you are depending on or supporting you, any way that they want to treat you, unfortunately, they're going to treat you that way. And hopefully I'm articulating this properly and you understand what I'm saying. But um, it's no good to be treated any kind of way. We're all humans. We all want love and things of that nature. But people have bad days, you know. But whether it's your job, whether it's your living situation, um, if you want to get out of that, it's time to prepare. And I'm not saying it's going to take 5 months, 6 months, 2 months. It might take a few years, but if you start now, it's well worth it. You will be happy with your decision. I promise you that. So that was on my heart today to talk about preparation, because just thinking back on things that happened to me, that I allowed to happen to me because somebody had a bad day and they wanted their stuff back. No problem, take your stuff back. But again, I had to depend on somebody else to get me out of that jam. And I'm a man, right? And I'm not saying that, it's a pride thing or anything like that, but men want to be able to provide for themselves and then their families as well. And I was left in a position, I didn't have a family at the time, but I was left in a position where I had to depend on somebody else. And that, again, that stuck with me. And if you can probably identify with a situation, or if you're in a situation now where you have to depend on somebody else, and what we need to remember is that the people that we're depending on now will not always be here. So if you're depending on somebody to take care of you, if you're depending on somebody to, and this is husbands and wives too. If you're in an abusive situation, if you're in a bad situation, and you need to get out, and you didn't prepare, not stashing money away in a private savings account or whatever the case may be, but I'm just talking about being able to just take care of bills and take care of the budget, and knowing how to set up a proper budget. If you end up needing to leave, you're stuck because you just don't know how to do anything. So it's very, very important to for you to be able to prepare now, and then take care of the things now, and not for now, but taking care of things now for later, because you will need it, and then your future self will thank you today. So hopefully that helps somebody and encourage somebody to get to it. Last episode was really good, and it touched on preparation and starting now and things of that nature. And I think that it was important for me to talk about that again today, because I don't think a lot of us now, just we all think about now for the most part, and we don't think about later. So just putting that small amount of money to the side, in an account and investments, and things of that nature, and then seeing that account grow, seeing those investments grow, then that would encourage you uh, to invest more. But you can't get that encouragement if you never start. So it's time. It's time to get to it, y'all. It's go time. Wealth is a journey. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.